Welcome to Megapath Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about Negan. Is he evil? No! A lot of fans out there are asking, why do you like Negan? Why are you fans of Negan? Not to me. I've seen these in articles online. People are sharing it with me. Oh, a lot of fans saying they're huge fans of Negan, but he's just this big piece of shit. How do you love Glenn? And then you're also a huge Negan fan. He's a degenerate, what he does for women or terrorizing. He's a psychopath. How can you love this person? I'm a massive fan of Negan because he has an interesting story. You know, he's an interesting villain. When I watch these characters, when they almost die, survive, when there's character development, when they fall in love, when they get angry, when they get hurt, when they get upset, when they get frustrated, when they get embarrassed, them living, breathing, and finally dying. This is all entertainment for me. I do not sit here and say, okay, because it's a villain, I don't automatically dislike them. Yes, I'm always rooting for the survivors to win. I am never not rooting for Rick. Negan is one of my all-time favorite comic book characters right now because of how interested I am in a story. I'm always entertained. I always enjoy reading the story when he's in it, you know, and that's what makes him a favorite. It's not that we agree with the decisions he makes as a character as if it is real life. If it was real life, I'd be like, Negan, that's fucked up. Glenn was a good dude. Abraham was a good dude. That was really uncalled for, dude. You crossed the line just a little bit. This is not real life, though. This is entertainment. We watch the good guys and the bad and the heroes and the cowards, and it's all entertainment. I hate cowards in real life. I hate them. But if you have a story with a coward in it that is interesting and there's some good character development, I will enjoy that character. I will enjoy that story because it's entertainment. I don't know how some people don't draw the line. How some people can't separate the entertainment like that. You know? I don't get it. I think some people look at them and they say, if you like Negan, that means you as an individual like what he does, and you might actually do it in real life. Like the same people who say video games make you violent. If you go play Grand Theft Auto and you just beat up hookers and kill people in the street, you might do it in real life. I think people are saying, the same people saying this might be the same people saying that. That's not even close to being true, you know? I know some kids that were the nicest kids in the world, wouldn't hurt a fly. Still to this day, you know, some of the nicest kids in the world, nicest dudes now, they all grew up. But when they're playing a video game, yeah, they're going to rob some hookers. I mean, it's a video game. That's a stupid example, but this is a TV show, this is a comic book, these are fake characters. It's not about if you like a character, you agree with their actions. That does not go hand in hand. I highly disagree with certain, I would never have certain rules that Negan has. I would rather rule the way Rick does as a family, you know, there's more passion in that, but that doesn't mean that I don't find Negan's story and the way he rules very entertaining. I do. But now I'm just beating a dead horse. Let's get into Negan being evil. I see this a lot. Negan's, oh, he's evil and yada, yada, yada. And yeah, in this world, it was very brutal. He's cracking these people's heads open. But let's take a step back. Negan doesn't know these people. He's not attached to these people. In Negan's eyes, these are the ones who crossed the line. Negan built something in one area, right here. He had something going. And then these outsiders came through, didn't like what he had going, so they blew up his guys in the road. And then after that, they decided to storm Negan's outpost. Keep in mind, Negan's been here this whole time, running this shit, right? Then they stormed his outpost, killed a shit ton of his guys in the middle of the night, and then Negan sent more guys to where they were after he found them somehow. And then Carol killed more of his guys. So you see, from Negan's standpoint, even though he just brutally beat these guys to death, these guys, our guys, have been killing his guys for a little minute now. So Negan's pissed. You know, when Negan says, oh, what, you shot some chick in the face with an arrow to Dwight? Okay, or, well, he doesn't actually say that, but I'm just saying, trust me, I'm getting there. He's like, okay, that's one of them. And then he lines him up, and then he takes another one. He beats him to death. Daryl punches him. He decides he's going to beat another to death. Then he's going to break Rick. In Negan's eyes, these are just people who need to be taught a lesson. And I know, it's the brutality that gets people thinking that Negan's a psychopath. And to a degree, I mean, he could be touched in some way. This world that they're living, though, is also not the same world as the world we're living in. Look at the olden times. Back in the olden times, I used to love reading history when I was bored, younger. Never liked it in school. Then when I got out of school, I used to love reading history books. Real history, not the shit they teach you in school. And you find out about the shit they used to do to each other back in the day. They used to rip your guts out while you were still alive. They would have inventors come up with the worst means to torture. We're talking rip your guts out through your asshole. We're talking so you can watch yourself being eaten alive by rodents and shit. This is real live people doing this. Some of these people, you know, we read in history books and we praise them to a degree. And you read what they've done to people or what they've ordered to be done. You've read about some of our own presidents who maybe have massacred Native Americans, men, women, and children. You know, they're on our money. Some brutality in our history because it fit the time, the era that they lived in. In that era, it was even wrong to a degree, but a lot of it happened because a million different reasons, but a lot of it is, I'm going to say it was necessary, but I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like this dude did a war crime, that was necessary. They themselves, the people, I gotta be careful because I don't want to make it sound like I support them. To all those people doing nasty shit, in that situation they felt justified. Unless you're talking about some serial killer who just decides to cut up people because he enjoys it. But you look at some of these war heroes in the past, or you just look at ordinary people, or really crazy circumstances from back in the day, that they used to just rip people apart for punishments, to teach people a lesson, to put people in line. We used to do that. Us, human beings, you know, living, breathing people, we used to do the most foul shit to each other to keep us in line. Some people in the church, they had like inquisitions or something. Hold on, I know that word. Inquisitions. Spanish Inquisitions. I think that's how you say it. But they used to torture the shit out of people, light them on fire. Whole bunch of really foul shit, right? A lot of these people might not be psychopaths, and they could still brutally kill, torture, maim, you name it. And I think what bothers people the most is not having that label, or that label not being accurate. Like if someone does something that's just foul, you know, you want to put a label on the person because it makes you comfortable knowing that he did it because he's a psychopath, you know? I think the majority of people are terrified by the reality that any person could just brutally demolish another human being, stab him to death, shoot him, whatever, no matter how, if you get really angry or jealous or whatever, any one of us is capable of that, depending on the circumstances. Some of us might be capable of that in the moment and then look back on that and be like, I didn't like it, I didn't enjoy it, I don't ever want to do that again. But if we are pushed to the limits, or if we are in the right circumstances, we might do something as brutal. We might be willing to do something as brutal as Negan. And what terrifies the majority, I feel, is we wouldn't be psychopaths. We're not psychopaths. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to characters like Negan, if it makes you feel better by just writing him off as a psychopath, that's fine. I like to look at Negan as somebody who is complicated, just like real people. Real people are complicated. And again, going back to histories, you'd hear these stories of maybe some people in the Civil War who would do just some shit. And we're not talking about just torture, but they would do or survive through some horrific things and then go back to society. Some broken, but some would go back to society like it was alright. The Wild West, where people would just openly kill people in towns and shit. I mean, fuck. So when you look at Negan, and he looks like just a raving madman, you know, just a psychopath, that might not be accurate, because to him, the attachment that people have towards each other, that might not be there. He could not understand how two people can be so madly in love that when one dies, the other's heartbroken. And I don't mean like he doesn't understand it. He picks up on it. But to him, it's just like, you'll get over it. I get it. It's hard on you. But don't worry, I've been there. You'll get over it and you'll be fine. And then you'll realize, hey, you were just attached to that person. There's no such thing as love. It's a selfish thing. You're attached to the person. And you might find someone new, you might not. But life goes on, continues beating someone's head in. Now I know it might seem like I'm making excuses, that it's okay to go beat someone's head in, but no, I'm not. I just would rather look at characters being more complex. And no, I don't look at characters who kill people in stories and go, oh, well, I must hate him because he's killed people, you know? He is an interesting character in an interesting story, and that's why I am interested in it. So, you leave your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. What do you think about Negan? Do you think he's a madman, psychopath, or do you believe he is actually a complex character? Do you think there's human beings like Negan who could just beat someone's head in and not have a thirst for blood? Because when people call Negan a serial killer, it doesn't really fit in my opinion, because if you read stories about some serial killers, like, they just need to kill. If you notice with Negan, at least so far in the show and in the comic, he kills when it's a punishment, you know, when it's necessary. He doesn't just have that itch to murder, which is what I thought serial killers had. Like, they had some sort of infatuation with killing, with people, with kidnapping them. I don't know. Like, there's just something that's messed up there. And Negan doesn't just kill somebody just for the hell of it. Well, you know what I mean. Do you get what I'm saying or no? I don't know. Leave your thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now. Are you in there, buddy?